Today, we have an incredible story for you that will change what you think is possible. How does a 17-year-old buy a $1 million RV park? So, in today's interview, I'm going to share with you the remarkable journey of one of our students. His name is Jarrett, of how he turned his big dream into reality. So, get ready to be inspired as we share with you and explore how age, creativity, and ambition all came together to create what was once thought impossible into the possible. All right, so this is a story of Jared's deal. Before we go to interview, a little bit about it. It's an RV park with about 140 sites. The purchase price was $1 million. Is located in the Sonoran Desert in Arizona. Great location. The deal was seller financed, okay, meaning no banks involved. It's a 5-year deal with the seller, and there was one investor outside the family who provided the down payment. The park was distressed, meaning it's not performing at all, okay? It's barely breaking even, in fact. But we liked it because it had a 3x upside in the value of the park. So in a couple of years, we're going to turn this park into a 16 cap rate deal. Okay, we are. The needs of the park as follows. It's threefold. Number one, the park needs a new management plan, it needs a new marketing plan, and it needs amenities, all of which we are really good at designing here at Commercial Property Advisors. And finally, Jared's exit strategy is to, at the end of 5 years, to refinance the property into his own name and hold it, or sell it and do a 1031 exchange. Okay, that's the plan. This is what he purchased. Check out this incredible video of a 17-year-old who decided not to go to college, okay, but do this instead. Got questions? Simply text the word Peter to 833-942-4516 and we'll help you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I have a very special guest with us. Jarrett is here, 17 years old, bought his first RV park. Good morning, Jarrett.
Good morning, Peter.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. I know you just closed and you're in the middle of everything. So I appreciate you taking the time and pressing the pause button and being with us. And I know as a business owner now, there's no such thing as stopping. There's just a pause button, right? And you'll soon learn that if not already. So thank you for being with us, Jared. And, I did a intro here where I mentioned, someone who's 17 years old bought an RV park. So I want to just dive into all that in this interview here. I want to start off with you sharing a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm actually 18 now, but I was 17 when we closed. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and both my grandfathers moved here in the 70s. My family has been here ever since, and I love Phoenix. I'm not leaving here. So I do a lot of different things for fun. I rock crawl my Jeep. I love working on my Jeep. I play music, adventure, adrenaline sports like rappelling, hiking, mountain biking, and then weird stuff like I rappelled off the city center building in downtown Phoenix. I stayed overnight in a treehouse in Oregon, and we ended up renting a 86 VW bus to cruise around Alaska in. So that was a lot of fun.
That
It was a
is
lot of fun.
cool. That is cool. And with your dad, right?
Yeah, that's with my
Yeah.
family. So
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, Jared, when you closed, you were 17 years old, or when you
hmm
joined our program, you were also 17 years old.
hmm
When you first came in, it got me thinking, why isn't this young man who, finished school, high school, not wanting to go to college like a normal 17-year-old, right? Go to college, get a job, and your parents, money saved up to go to college. What made you want to go this direction towards being an investor than taking the traditional route?
yeah, I always knew that I did not want to go to college. Everybody goes to college and, you know, it doesn't really profit a lot of people the way I see it. I believe it should be treated like a trade school. And I knew that I didn't want to do anything that was what college had to offer. So that ruled it out. I didn't ever know for sure what I was going to do. I started my first real part-time job at 13, and I was keeping books for two different companies. And I learned two things there: how to keep books, and that I did not want to be an accountant. So, um, after a little bit of that, I started working at a tree company doing woodwork and bookkeeping both. And that was for about 2 years. Then I moved on to a machine shop to try out. I always knew I wanted to work construction or cars. I wasn't sure which. I did know that. So I went to a machine shop and I was there 6 or 8 months and learned very quickly that that was not what I wanted to do. I left on good terms, great place, but not the place for me to work. So after that, there was a couple months in limbo where I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. And so during that time, my dad he's always had his investments in order, and generally on the business or stocks side. But he showed me some of the different investment possibilities of actively doing real estate, and we started diving into it. And one thing led to another. I said, "Hey, I might be interested in this, doing this for a living." And so my dad's an EOS implementer. Basically, it's a business coach that teaches people how to operate their business, how to get their systems in place. And obviously, he believes in the power of coaching. He has one, and he's passed that on to me. So one of the first things I started doing was looking for a coach. And through our network, through my dad's network, we found you, Peter. And probably the biggest aha through all of that is that real estate is like buying and selling little businesses. And so
Mhm.
the more you can get them to run on systems, so you don't have to give them attention, the more you can take on, so that you're running more properties and therefore more money.
Great. No, thanks for that. That's brilliant, brilliant. So let's do the fun stuff. Okay, let's jump into the deal.
Yeah.
All right, the RV park. So you found this property online, right? Searching and everything. And share us a little bit about the deal, the price, how you finance it, why you like it, the upside, your exit strategy. Please share that with us.
Yeah. So it's a 140 unit park. I believe we're running with that number because it's
Yeah, yeah, because we
kind of,
thought initially we counted 120 or 121.
yeah, it was advertised on Crexy as 120. And then there was some more research. There's sites all the way up to 126. And so with that, and then there's a couple other sites, A, B, and C. So we thought maybe it was 131. And then after I built out the rent roll, it seeing numbers all the way to 141. And then there's overflow parking on top of that. So there's a lot of
Wow.
discrepancy on that. So we're running with 140.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, please
So
continue.
anyway, so we bought it for 1 million. Seller ended up financing most of it. We walked in with 4.5% interest only on 75%, so 750K. Then a friend carried the other 250 at 9% interest only. Both are interest only. I would not usually recommend going in fully financed, but this one is, I feel, a little different because there is so much upside opportunity. There is low occupancy during the summer. And if you can, it's right at the break even point, right? It's running right there. So if you can pop two or three more people even in, it just starts, the numbers start skyrocketing. So,
Okay, so
um,
let's stop there for a second.
yeah.
So $1 million purchase price, you put down 250,000 with an
Hmm.
investor, right? An investor put the money up
Hmm.
for you guys, and then, from my understanding, in a few months later, like in 3 months later, there's another 250 due, right? Which
Yeah.
brings
Yeah, there
the
is.
total balance due at 500,000, right? Finance over the total of 5 years at 4.5% interest only payments. That's a fantastic interest rate in today's market, right? Yeah, so
There's
motivated
nothing
seller.
like that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then the park is distressed, right? Is way underperforming. Why is that?
So the seller didn't manage it right. It's very clear. I'm not sure why. there's a couple different reasons, but it's clearly management inefficiencies. So it's right in the center of town. There's no reason for it to be there. There's a park next door that's running 70 or 80% during the summer, which is terrible time to be there. It's
Yeah.
very, very, very hot. It's not in Phoenix, but it's actually 10 or so degrees hotter than Phoenix.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it,
So day one, you're walking in breaking even, right? And then after that, it's nothing but upside, right?
yes.
So let's discuss the upside. So upside number one is to increase the occupancy. And you and I
Hmm.
spoke this week about giving your staff a bonus if they were to reach a certain level, and that's going well, right? So
Yeah.
next week you'll be cash flow positive even more. What other upside do you have? I think there is a propane project, right?
Yeah, so we're installing propane dispensing. I'm not sure, it's either two or three other places in town that sell propane that even just sell it. And then there's only one in town that delivers.
Hmm.
So we're going to install a delivery route. We're going to try to get other parks on board with it. And so there's a lot of open market space for that.
Yeah. What's the
So that'll
potential dollars wise to for something like that?
I don't know. We estimated our numbers conservatively because that's the way to go.
Sure.
We're hoping for 20,000 in profit over the year.
Yeah.
And we believe that's extremely doable. There's a park down the street actually just sold in July for 1.8, so almost double what this park is. It's got 33 sites and it's the one that delivers propane.
Wow.
And it was advertised as a 19 cap.
Wow.
So there's
Wow.
there's something with that propane. I think I
Hmm.
looked through the numbers and he was running about 50% of his business on propane
Wow.
sales.
Okay. That is huge.
Yeah.
So we have immediate rent upside, just increasing occupancy. We have the propane potential. That's fantastic. What other potential do we have? I believe that you are converting some of the uh, pads into having their own meters, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's those three different paths to possibly doubling the NOI. And between a combination of all three, we're trying to double the NOI because we know they're not all going to perform at best. So that's our goal with it. The metering is it was running the cellar into the ground. It's the only park in town that does not bill back for electrical. So we're installing meters and billing back now.
You were able to get the seller during your negotiations to connect to city water, right? So that's done, right?
Mhm.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now
And
it actually also has a brand new well too that was put in right before he connected. So
yeah, that's huge. That's great. That's great. Okay, what other upside do you have? I believe you're going to add a few amenities to make the park more fun, right?
yeah, so we're billing it as the funnest park in Quartzsite. We just hired someone to run activities. That's her job. That's her full job. And so we're trying to make a sense of community and a fun park. You know, there's no reason to go out there and just sit in your trailer and watch TV. There's things to do. So
Mhm.
we're trying to create a fun place to live during the winter.
What type of amenities are you thinking about adding?
So we haven't entirely decided, but we've kicked around uh, adding a community center because that's a big one that's not actually present on the park. We've thought about maybe putting in an above ground pool, just kicked it around, things like that. So definitely something, it's definitely going to be something big. We're actually this year having the tenants vote on it. So when you come into the park, you put your suggestions in and we're voting on
Yeah.
what there should be. So it's going to be the tenants' opinions are definitely going to weigh in very much on the decisions.
Okay. Any other upside you can think of? Okay.
There's a little bit of more. out of just to be squeezed out of the management. So sometimes they're spending too much on
Sure.
silly things.
Sure. With a owner that's kind of checked out, 80 years old, he has another park down the street, and this park is neglected. Yeah, you're
Mhm.
bound to find a bunch of management inefficiencies, and you've discovered them day one. So, Jarrett, so in your estimation, and be conservative. Once you get all of these things implemented, the upside potential is what? So you bought it for a million, right? And then over the next couple of years, you're going to stabilize it with all the new amenities, the higher occupancy. What is it worth around in a couple of years?
We're hoping to get it to 3 million.
3 million. Okay, great. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And I saw your cash flow projections, just incredible, right? Where the cap rate was well above 15%, and you're just being conservative there. So,
Yeah,
yeah, look forward to that.
yeah. In
What
that we're
is, oh, go
actually
ahead.
in that we're actually we bought it at like a 6.5, 7 cap. We didn't buy it for the cap rate. Obviously, that's a decent cap, but it's not amazing. So we're actually expecting the cap rate. We're expecting to sell or refi at a higher cap rate, not what's generally expected, you know?
Sure, absolutely. What is your exit strategy? Is it to buy and hold, refinance, sell, 1031 exchange? What's your exit strategy on this park?
So I don't actually know. We have all of those options in our pocket right now, and we haven't decided. So we're going to run through at least the first year of it and we'll start figuring it out. But those are all valid possibilities. So we have all of our options open still.
And Jared, what are your day-to-day duties on this park? So what will you be doing?
I will be facilitating the property manager, uh, just kind of making sure that everything's running smoothly. There's on-site management, but it's not third party. So I actually took on employees, so I'll be running those employees, and that's what I'm doing.
Okay, great. We gave you a document called the plan, right? And we're meeting later today to execute the plan because every property needs a plan and to be successful. So a lot of
That's
work
right.
ahead of us, but this is an amazing project. So regardless if you are 17 or 18, this is an awesome project. So I just want to commend you for that.
Thank you.
I've been with you the whole time on managing this transaction, and I know there are a couple of challenges here. There always are. So, what are one or two challenges that you can share, and how you got over them?
Yeah, so probably the biggest challenge was working with the broker. The broker was not, he was supposed to be on our team. It was actually a team of two, man and a woman, but they were supposed to be on our team and they definitely didn't feel like it. So
Yeah,
um,
I totally
later,
agree.
later I talked to the seller. We were discussing a simple thing on the phone, just us two. And he asked his secretary, "Hey, what's the name of that lady?" And she mentioned the lady broker's name, and he goes, "No, not our broker." So
Mm,
I picked that up pretty quick. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
they weren't they at best they didn't do their job top
Yeah,
notch.
I totally agree. They did not have your side in this transaction. Frustrating for me as a coach, right? We need their help to get this deal closed. And
Definitely.
we're okay. All right, there was a challenge number two. What was that?
Challenge number two was actually dealing with the seller himself. He was, I think that this was a tax write-off. I think that's the reason that that he neglected it because he's not a stupid guy. He knows how to play the game. And he was pretty slick about playing it. He played dumb for 2.5 months before 2 or 3 weeks before even contract, we started poking our nose around the deal, know how that goes. And one of the first things we asked for is a rent roll. And he's like, "Oh, I don't have it. I don't have it. Here's the best I got." And it was pretty pathetic. And so
Yeah.
we're like, "Okay, we'll try to work off of this." And I stayed on him the entire time through due diligence. Like, "Hey, we need a clear rent roll." He's like, "Oh, I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it." Then about 2 or so weeks before close, I sent over a rent roll that I had put together based off of my site visits and talking with the property manager for the rent settlement. I sent that over, and the number was too high for him. He thought it should be lower. So
Mm-hmm.
next day, he sends back a rent roll that's got everything on it and where my rent roll is wrong.
Yeah.
Next day.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
he had the rent roll. He just didn't want to give it to me.
Sure, sure. And throughout this transaction, we kept finding things like that. In my opinion, I
Yeah,
figured, okay, he knows Jarrett's 17 years old. I'm going to take advantage of him. But he had no idea you had a coach and your dad behind you.
that's right. That's right. And a couple times since we were dealing through the broker, I think one time I scared the broker. I kind of got on his tail a little bit. He was trying to offer excuses and stuff, and I just completely I got up front with him, and he didn't talk to me for a couple days. He talked to my dad. So
Yeah,
he wasn't too impressed, but he got scared of me.
you. Yeah, you got to stand your ground. Okay, yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for that. Jared, our channel here is mainly for beginners and intermediate, some advanced, right? And I know some of them want to do what you're doing. So, what advice would you give them on just getting started in this business?
Yeah, I'd tell him just do it, I don't
Mm,
I don't particularly buy Nikes, but I definitely buy their slogan. So
hmm.
you're never gonna do it if you don't just do it. So definitely get a coach. But you even if you have a coach, you can still hem and haw and I don't know, but you just gotta do it.
Great, great, great advice. Great advice. Just do it, right? Okay.
Yep.
Last question here would be what's next for Jared, right? So you
Yeah.
close on this park. We have a lot of work ahead of us to do, a lot of meetings. What happens after this?
Yeah. So I'm going to be, well, it's the end of the year, so there's all of that family stuff that goes on,
Hmm.
Thanksgiving and New Year's and stuff like that. So I'll be taking a little extra time off than normally. And so that'll take some of my time. But then as far as work goes, I'm going to spend the rest of the year diving into this park and just trying to get it to run top notch as smooth as it can without me. So that way, the next quarter, which would be the first quarter of 2025, I want to put my next deal under contract.
All right. What
So
does that next deal look like, Jared?
I have no clue. So
Another RV
something
park?
that the numbers work. It might
Okay.
be an RV park. Definitely there's an argument for that, and I will definitely be a lot more interested in RV parks
Hmm.
at this point. But I could still go after a apartment complex or something like that if the numbers work. It's all about the
Okay.
numbers.
Yeah, it is. It is. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Well, Jared, this is an amazing interview. So I appreciate you taking the time today to do this with us. Inspiring story, and you're an amazing young man. So I just want to
Thank
congratulate
you.
you for getting this done. And we're with you the whole way. So we have a lot of work to do, right? A lot of work, but we're going to get there.
Yeah, and thank you guys. You guys have been a huge help, and I would not be here without you or my dad. So my dad's trying to get this to be my thing, but he's very much involved.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Jared, you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for being with us, and we'll be talking soon.
Thanks, Peter.
The best time to invest in real estate is always 5 years ago. The next best time is today. Let us mentor you so you can get started investing right now. Click the top corner. Okay, welcome back. Wasn't that incredible? What an incredible young man he is, right? So I'm going to do just a quick summary, just like a minute or two. Three quick things. What do we like about the deal, right? What we liked about it is the model of success of how to turn this park around and what to do with it, what to charge for rents, what amenities to put in place, what type of employees needed, everything needed. All the marketing is right down the street. There's a park that we're going to model. It's already successful, already 80, 90% occupied. That's what we're going after. So that's what we like. So this is not rocket science. This is just strategic planning. Okay. Number two, where do the project funds come from? You know, Jared needs money to put in amenities and to build up the park. Guess where the money's coming from? What was once Jared's tuition money now is going to go into the park. As you can see, Jared is not going to college, so all the money that his parents saved is going to go into this property to make him successful. Okay? All right, number three, what I want you to do is give Jared some love, give Jared some encouragement. Okay? Like the video because he'll be watching this video. Congratulate him. All right, and then tell him to stay the course and to stay focused. Okay? Young people like that need encouragement. Okay? In this day and age. So do me a favor. Just put it in the comment box. Go, Jared, go. Congratulate him. Give him a high five. Okay? Give him some words of encouragement. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you hung out this long, you are absolutely my favorite. All right, so if you want to be mentor like Jared, the link will appear on the screen. If you want to read a book on commercial real estate, the link will appear on the screen too. Just read it and go at it, no obligation. I want to just say thank you so much for watching our video, and I'll see you at the next video.